Hey there, I'm Maria McBride, the owner of Hometown Sweat, and in this tutorial, I'm gonna be going over standing separate leg stretching pose that we do in our original hot yoga classes. Now, this is a great posture to get flexibility and range of motion in the entire backside of your body, starting with your legs, and then your hips, and then even into your spine. But there's a lot of details that even if you come to the mat with a lot of inflexibility, you can still work through, especially when you understand them, and get the most out of this posture. So let's take a look. Now, in standing separate leg stretching pose, it's really common for people to put a lot of emphasis and effort into touching their forehead on the floor right between your feet. You hear it every class. It sounds like this big, massive action, and that's true. However, you can still gain tremendous benefit and do 100% this posture correctly without having your forehead to touch the floor. In fact, if your forehead is touching the floor, but you're not using the strength in your arms and stretching your legs and your back, then the point of this posture is kind of missed. Instead, what you want to make sure you focus on is getting the most amount of stretching that you possibly can get in your legs, in your hips, and in your spine. And whether your forehead touches the floor or not, it doesn't matter. So let's take a look and I'll show you what I mean. You start this pose with your feet together, bring your arms up over your head and take a big step about 4 feet to the right. Now, stomach in and slowly bend your body down from your lower spine. It's really, really common, especially if you have some inflexibility, that the spine starts to round like that. That's okay if you've got wicked tight hamstrings or a hamstring pull or an injury. You can go right ahead and put your hands on the floor between your feet. Now, grab your heels, and if you can't get your heels, try to grab the outsides of your feet, but if you can get the heels, go ahead and start to pull. You wanna make sure that your knees are locked. So that's more than just a straight leg, as we've learned from the previous postures. That's the thigh muscle contracted. So grab your heels, pull, make sure that your knees are locked. Now, if you are gonna pull, you actually tap into this upper body strength in your biceps, in your hands, and in your fingers in order to stretch your body down. So sometimes what happens is we get so set on touching the forehead to the floor that we stop pulling and we open the legs just to get that to happen without actually stretching the spine, something like this. So the pull stops, just open the legs, and the forehead drops down. But if you can take a look at my spine, it's not stretching. In fact, it's rounded. My upper body is not involved at all. So I'm not using my body to the maximum potential that I could be. Instead, and you'll be able to see here, if the feet are a little bit closer and I go down and I grab my heels and I start to pull, there is so much effort that I'm putting forth to keep my knees locked, to use my upper body strength, and to really start to stretch my spine down in a bit more of a straight position to try to get my forehead to touch the floor between the feet. So while my forehead in that second example didn't actually touch, my body was getting so much more stretching and I was getting so much more out of the pose by using my strength and really trying to tap in a bit more to my self-control for that posture. All right, so that kind of gives you the gist of it. The goal, sure, it's to get your forehead to touch the floor, but the whole object that you wanna make sure you do every single time is to stretch your entire backside of your body, legs, hips, and spine. And now whether the forehead touches the floor or not, but you're still meeting those elements of stretching your body, it's all good. If you've got screaming tight hamstrings or a really vulnerable back, take this one slow. It might be that you end up stopping here, put your hands on your legs, and start to walk your hands down slowly, slowly, slowly. A hamstring pull, that's something that you're working through right now. That is not an area that you want to blast through with pain. So back off if you feel that area of your body telling you to back off. It will be quite obvious. So I hope that's helpful for standing separate leg stretching pose. Such a great posture to stretch out the whole backside of your body.